I just finished watching a film that I really been wanting to check out, and I was going to see it in theaters in 2019, but I didn't have I don't know. I wasn't at a place in my life at that point where I wanted to go to the movies by myself. And now I pretty much go to the movies once a week by myself, and I don't mind. So
You don't mind?
maybe you mind, 'cause I'm spending tens of dollars a week going to the movies.
Oh.
I go to the matinee, all right? And I leave my poor wife at home with 4 kids while I get to go do movie reviews and see the latest new release that's a blockbuster.
Okay, I'm not responding to that. I just want to say
Wait.
the second half of this movie, because that's all I saw, was really good. I
So
loved
before we give you your...
5 out of 5 from just me.
Okay.
Bye.
That's fair. So this movie came out in 2019. It is directed by Gurinder Chadha. Hour and 58-minute runtime, blinded by the light. And like I said, I had wanted to see this movie when it was in theaters, but I never did because I chickened out. I don't know. And I was partially unemployed for like 3 months in 2019. So this film is loosely based on the life of real-life British journalist Sarfraz Manzoor. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. It's based off of his 2007 memoir, Greetings from Bury Park, Race, Religion, and Rock and Roll. And this guy, the movie, they call the character Javed, but he's a Pakistani teen, just like the real-life guy Sarfaz. And it kind of picks up in 1987 when he's in junior college. This guy is just an angsty teen living under very conservative Muslim Pakistani parents, and the dad's authority is the end-all be-all, and he has plans for his kids. Like a lot of people from different racial backgrounds, what their parents say is the law. Doctor, lawyer, scientist, that type of stuff. And he was an extensive journalist. He wrote tons and tons of journals throughout his life in the movie, and he wrote a lot of poetry. And then his Sikh classmate hands him a cassette of The Boss, the Born to Run album. And this is kind of where it's becoming show and tell time, and we're going to talk about my love for Bruce. So I got my first Bruce Springsteen album from Pepperland Records in Orange, California, in probably around 2010, 2011. This is an earlier Columbia release, Gatefold. This album came out in 1975, and it is what first got me hooked on The Boss. My dad and mom were not really a fan of Bruce, from what I remember, and I discovered him all on my own because someone recommended this particular album to me, and I cannot remember who, but I picked it up. $3.99. That's when records were still super affordable, circa 2010. And then I would later go on to discover one of my favorite Bruce Springsteen albums here. I'm getting it ready. Greetings from Asbury Park, New Jersey. This is his first album, and I have it on CD and record, and this movie is life-changing for me as well. Been to New Jersey, been to Asbury Park, been to the Stone Pony. I have lots of good friends in New Jersey, so besides loving The Boss, I'm a big fan of the whole vibe and the history of that part of the country. Huge shout out to all my friends in New Jersey. The album that the Jafed character was turned on to that kind of brought him into this guy speaking to my soul was the Born in the USA album, which is a very deep, introspective album despite its catchy pop songs of the 80s. And that is like the story of Bruce, right? He's talking about harsh realities of life, you know, darkness on the edge of town, the wild, the innocent, and the E Street Shuffle. I do not have some of his other albums. And then my dad's coworker, Rob, growing up, I'd go into their office, and he always had a picked copy of this album framed on the wall behind his desk, The River. So I, too, am a fan of The Boss. I recently watched a piece on the Sunday morning news show on CBS that they did, and they interviewed him, and he's like 75 or something now. And he talked about one of his favorite albums. I can't remember the name, but he recorded it in his house in a random bedroom, and then that ended up being on the album. So he's quite the artist. But enough about the boss. As inspiring as he is as a lyricist and a composer, this movie, my wife was a 5 out of 5. I am 4 out of 5. It was a great movie. I wouldn't say it's like an iconic movie, but I love coming of age movies, and I really enjoyed it. And I picked it up at the thrift shop just this afternoon, used for $3, so that helps it even more. Rotten Tomatoes, 89%. IMDb, 6.9 out of 10. Google users are 74%. I think it's better than that. It was dealing with hard subjects. I didn't realize that a lot of it, Indian and Arab people and Muslim people in the UK had faced such racial discrimination even in the 80s. It was pretty intense to see what the level of backlash they got from white nationalist groups at that late in history. But I don't know a lot about UK social history. So, but then you think of other albums from bands of that time where it's kind of talking about, you know, a lot of bad vibes in the down and out. You know, you think of the Smiths, where it's talking a lot about the hardships of people at that time. It's kind of dark, but very poppy and upbeat, kind of like The Boss. So I think it's a good slice of English society at that time. And I enjoyed that. I enjoyed seeing it from a more cultural point of view, because I live in an area here in the Central Valley where there are a ton of Punjabi and Hindi Indians, and it's a very peaceful, loving culture for the most part. So it was a great slice of life film with a heavy Bruce Springsteen soundtrack. If you like The Boss, check out the film. If you like coming of age stories, you will enjoy it too. Side note, it cost $15 million to make and it grossed $18 million at the box office. So I would say that was a commercial success. The real life guy, the Sarfraz Manzoor guy, he helped write the script based off of his book with the director of the film, the Gurinder Chadha guy, and another guy, Paul Burgess. So check it out. Blinded by the Light. Don't know if it's on streaming anywhere. I will gladly add this to my video collection. And and by the way, the director for this movie, he directed Bend It Like Beckham, which I believe my wife owns, and we enjoy that movie too. It's been a long time since I've watched it. But also, if you're not into Bruce Springsteen, I would say my go-to album, if you want to dip your toes into the pool, is the Born to Run album. And then, obviously, my second favorite album is Greetings from Asbury Park. So, there you go. Until next time, we will see you then. Oh, and side note, not to have anything to do with the Bruce, but also the Smiths, The Queen is Dead, if you kind of want to get into that time period of when this takes place, which is 1987. I think this album came out right around there on 1985 or 86. This record, and I think another one that would be fitting towards the time of this movie would be Joy Division. I don't know, kind of giving you that shadowy vibe of Cold War era England. That's it, folks. We'll see you next time.